Yeah, they're taking a deck down and making it a little bit bigger, so they're going further, but the side line is like this.
Good evening, and welcome to the June 25, 2026 meeting of the Foxborough Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting and the public hearings that we will be conducting is being broadcast and recorded by Foxboro Cable Access. What we're typically required to do at the very first meeting after reappointments of zoning board members have been made by the select board is to reorganize. But because Lorraine is not here and we only need, or we're required to have only the actual members, voting on that matter, we're going to have to delay that until the July meeting. And as of now, we do have a July meeting. We have at least one application with the potential of a second. So the second order of business would be the minutes from our April 16, 2026 meeting. Any questions anybody has?
No questions.
Comments? Okay, can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes from the prior meeting?
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Unopposed. So the minutes are approved. Thank you, Diana. Can't do anything technically until 6:35, which is when we have a consideration of changes to the rules and regulations. So let me just update people on some things that have occurred recently. I think it was in May that Kurt, Scott, and I, along with Ron Bresci and Matt Brennan, paid a visit to the East Belcher site. And there has been some progress. Certainly, if you look at the building from the street, on the right-hand side was fairly clean. And he's starting to move stuff around on the left-hand side in the back. Mm-hmm. A lot more work that needs to be done, but there has been some progress. Mm-hmm. And he does have until October 1st to do all that. I assume that nothing has been done as far as the fencing, Scott?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. He would need a permit for that, I think, because of the height of it.
If it's over the 7 foot, yes.
Yeah. So there has been some progress. Perhaps we should make another visit, maybe in August, to see where things go. But again, there's a lot more that needs to be done. One thing that was nice, he was very accommodating, and friendly, during the visit. At the town meeting in May, there were some zoning changes. One of them had to do with the Design Review Board, which I'll discuss a little bit later in the context of one of the hearings. There were some changes that were made as far as definitions. We've added a definition for yards, or front yard, side yard, and rear yard. We've also made a clarification in the various table of uses where we use the term yards. We changed that to minimum yards to clarify that it's just yard setbacks. The one thing that did not get approved, and it was far from it, was the proposal to establish an overlay district on Neponset Avenue, which would have overlay the current general industrial district, and that's, of course, where the Foxborough company used to have its operations. That went down resoundingly, and what will be done next, we'll see. One thing to bear in mind is that in the Senate version of the state budget, there are some proposed zoning changes as part of the outside sections. And, excuse me, one of them is a very dramatic and distinctive redefinition of variance. That proposal is not in the House version of the budget, so it'll remain to be seen as to whether the conference committee will adopt it. But if, in fact, it is approved, it will be effective as of the date that the budget takes effect, which theoretically should be July 1st. Mm-hmm. And that will necessitate ultimately some changes to our zoning bylaw as far as the definition of variance. But it will take effect immediately and will affect us as far as any variance proposals we need to consider. Essentially what they're doing, in summary, is changing the notion of, or the premise of substantial hardship to one of quote-unquote practical difficulty. And what that means is, I'm not sure. The intent behind it is to promote housing production. But it'll also apply to commercial ventures, the redefinition. So it remains to be seen as to what, if anything, we have to deal with there. So the time being 6:35, we need to consider and vote on amendments to the rules and regulations of the Foxborough Zoning Board of Appeals. So there are three, and Eric, you're going to have to share that with me. Sure. There are three proposed changes here. The first one is really just corrective. The second would be to amend Section 2.02 of the rules and regulations. And this really just codifies what our practice has always been. So theoretically, if an application comes in on on a day in which the town is in business, and it comes in before the end of the town business day, it's considered to be received on that day. An application that comes in after business hours is deemed to be received on the next business day of the town. So for example, tomorrow is the filing deadline for July applications. Diana is here. Business operations are until what, 12:30?
12:30, yep.
If an application comes in before 12:30, it's good for July. It's received tomorrow, and it's good for July. If the application comes in after 12:30, it's not considered to be received until the next business day of the town, which would be Monday, which means it will not be on the July agenda, but rather for August. That's always been the practice. I'm pretty sure it's been the practice for Conservation and Planning Board as well. So really all we're doing here is codifying it. The third change deals with the required advertising fee. And essentially what we're saying here is that the advertising fee must be paid at the time of a hearing on a particular application. If not, we have the option of either continuing the matter until the payment has been made, or hearing the matter but not rendering our decision. This has been a problem on a couple of occasions, not many, but in discussing it with Diana, we felt that it was appropriate to make that change. So, any questions?
No.
Okay, a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the amendment as stated.
Second?
Okay, all in favor? And opposed? None, okay. We've got to wait 2 minutes till 6:40, which would be the very first hearing for the evening. Actually, if Mr. Hillier is here?
I'm Brad, I'm the homeowner.
Okay.
Charles is in traffic.
He's in traffic?
I'm happy to present myself.
Okay. Why don't you come up here when we're ready to start anyhow?
This fine right here?
Yep, as long as you're in front of a microphone.
Yeah, looks like I'm on here.
And once 6:40 hits, I'll read the hearing notice and then we can start. Another minute. Eric, I'm going to have you vote on the first
Sure.
and third application, and Blair will vote on the second and the fourth. Okay, the time being 6:40 PM, Charles Hillier seeks a special permit pursuant to the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Chapter 275 zoning, Section 5.4.2, to allow the reconstruction, extension, or alteration of a pre-existing, non-conforming, single-family residential structure by the construction of an addition that will cause the habitable floor area of the structure to exceed by 25% or more the habitable floor area of the existing structure, and any other such zoning relief as the board may determine to be necessary and appropriate. Property is located at 17 County Street in the R40 Residential and Agricultural District and is not located in any restrictive overlay district. And you are not Mr. Hillier?
I am not. Charles was held up in traffic. He'll probably be walking in halfway through.
Okay, but you're the homeowner?
I'm the homeowner. Yeah, this has been a project that we've been planning for quite some time, and hopefully this is a straightforward special permit.
Okay,
so,
before you delve into it,
Yeah.
again, we're a board of four, as you can see. Each one of us participates. Eric, Kurt, and I will be voting. In order to approve the application, our vote must be unanimous.
Okay.
Okay? Go ahead and tell us what you're planning.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Brad Airy. My wife and I own the property at 17 County Street. We're seeking approval for a modest residential addition to our single-family home. The property, it's a pre-existing non-conforming corner lot. It was developed a long time before the current zoning requirements. The proposed addition is intended to provide additional living space for the family, maintains the residential character of the neighborhood. We've taken a lot of care and spent a lot of time and money designing an addition that looks nice with the house itself, with the property. The addition is located behind the existing home, and it remains consistent with the surrounding residential development. Doesn't create any new impacts related to sort of traffic, noise, drainage, or the character of the neighborhood. One of the key considerations is that it's a corner lot. As I understand it, under section 4.24 of the bylaws, the frontage for a corner lot is required only on one street. Based on that provision, we believe it's reasonable that Belcher Court may be treated as the front yard. And the proposed addition complies with the required 35-foot front setback. Therefore, the addition does not increase the existing nonconformity. More importantly, the proposal is not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing structure. Again, it preserves the existing residential use, maintains appropriate separation from abutting properties, and it's consistent with the intent and what I hope the purpose of the bylaws are. So for those reasons, we respectfully request the board's approval for the special permit application.
Now, you will be demolishing a portion of the existing home.
We'll be cutting into existing piece of the existing house, small, old concrete stairway. Charles? No, we're not removing any pieces of the structure, but we're going to cut into the old house and
Okay.
attach it. It's an attached structure.
What is the current square footage of the house?
Current square footage, I believe, is around 1,300 square feet.
And the amount of the addition is?
I'd say it's 968. I don't have the application right in my hands, but I think it's stated on there. We did have an updated plot plan and a survey done. I believe it's in there too.
You haven't seen the survey in there?
Updated from this one, or is this the one you're referring to?
That's the updated one, I believe. I think in my head, I remember it to be the total square footage after everything is said and done will be around 2,200 square feet.
I'm sorry, how much?
Around 2,200 square feet.
Okay.
That's in total, existing and proposed?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. That sound about right, Charles? Yeah.
So the access to the house after the construction will be to the new portion of it, correct? You'll be.
Yes.
Okay.
Belcher Court.
And the garage is staying where it is? Or are you?
There's a small sort of a detached garage that'll remain where it is.
Okay. But you will have a garage in the
Yes.
new structure?
The new addition will have a two-car garage under.
Any changes to the driveway?
The driveway is proposed to come off of County Street.
Okay,
The existing driveway would remain.
okay.
It seemed to be the most feasible option, considering the layout of the property.
Okay.
So the new addition will be around 27 feet 9 inches from County Street. The current house, which is about 24, 2 1/4 from County Street, that'll continue, that portion that's 24 feet, 2 1/4 will remain?
It'll remain.
Okay.
Yep.
Have you had any feedback from neighbors, good or bad, or?
All positive. I mean, we've been looking at this for a long time, and cost of properties are so expensive that we decided to pull the trigger on doing a renovation instead of leaving town or trying to buy something else. The house is getting older, was updated, was neglected for years. Somebody bought it and turned it around about maybe 15, 18 years ago, and it needs work now, so this seemed to be a good time. But everybody is supportive of the project. I think it's gonna increase property values
Yeah.
for them, and
All right, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, none for me.
No?
Blair, any
Straightforward,
questions?
no.
Scott, any? All right, anybody in the public wish to be heard? Okay, what if a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public portion of the hearing?
Second?
Okay, all in favor? I mean, you hit all the points that we need to hit, so I'm not going to reiterate all of them.
okay.
You know, the main thing is you're still going to be living in a single-family residential dwelling.
That's correct.
There has been no change there. So that in and of itself, notwithstanding the fact that the house will be bigger, does not create, to my mind, any substantial detriment. In fact, because the house will be updated, larger, the town and the neighborhood will benefit, you know, from that change. So I see absolutely no concern. We do have, you know, conditions that we would impose if we approve it, but I have absolutely no concerns with what you're proposing, and I think it fully meets the requirements of the zoning bylaw.
Agree.
Agreed.
Blair?
Agreed.
So what I would suggest would be a motion to approve the special permit with the following 3 conditions. Number 1, that the location of the proposed addition on the property is to be shown on the, as shown on the plot plan, such that it's no closer to the front yard lines of the property than is the existing dwelling. Number 2, the proposed addition shall contain approximately, you say about 968 or 970?
It's right around there.
I can follow up with the more exact, we don't have it the exact right now.
Okay. Approximately, whatever the more exact number is, square feet of habitable floor area, and shall be designed and constructed in accordance with the plans. And the plans will be attached to the decision. It'll be an exhibit to the decision. Number 3 is the exterior materials of the proposed addition and of the existing dwelling shall be of comparable architectural type, materials, and color. Any other?
No,
Okay.
that's straightforward enough.
No,
Motion to
nothing to
approve?
add.
If it's,
Sorry, go ahead.
so I just had a question. Are we not allowed to change the color of the house?
You can change the color, but I want the existing portion of the house and the new portion to
To
be the
match.
same.
Do the same.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand, yeah, that's,
But you can change it.
we're planning to do the both at the same time, so.
The siding would be the same for both?
The same,
We do
yep,
whole thing,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, motion to approve?
Motion to
Those
approve the permit, subject to the 3 conditions stated?
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Okay, we will draft a decision, hopefully sign it within the next 2 weeks. You'll need to file that in the Registry of Deeds.
Okay.
And evidence of that filing needs to be provided to Mr. Shippey, probably when you request your building permit,
Okay.
okay?
Part of the application requirement, when you apply for the building permit, just the front sheet saying that you recorded at the Registry of Deeds. That's all we need. We don't need the whole pack.
Okay,
Okay?
All right,
that's good. Thank you,
thank
gentlemen.
you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hilliard, you can shoot an email to Diana tomorrow with that exact,
Yep, I will.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Okay, the time being 6:50 PM. Christopher Ritos seeks a special permit pursuant to the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Chapter 275 zoning, Section 5.4.2, to allow the reconstruction, extension, or alteration of a pre-existing non-conforming single-family residential structure by the construction of an addition to the single-family structure that will convert it into a two-family structure and cause the habitable floor area of the two-family structure to exceed by 25% or more the habitable floor area of the existing structure, and any such other zoning relief as the board may determine to be necessary and appropriate. Property is located at 51 Mechanic Street in the R15 Residential and Agricultural District, and is not located in any restrictive overlay district.
All the way up. We're on. They mute you.
Okay, I don't know where that other,
Somebody on,
Oh, my God.
yeah.
Voice of my head again.
We haven't seen you in a long time. Welcome back.
Been a while. How are you?
Good. So tell us what you're doing, and we'll ask you our questions.
So we have an existing single-family home at, this is Mechanic Street,
Yes?
51 Mechanic Street. We own the house next door to the left, so we're looking to kind of do the same thing we did there. The difference on this one is the addition would be off the back of the house as opposed to side by side like we did next door. We're looking to do, we haven't got a design on the septic system yet, but we're looking to do a septic system in the back, which there's plenty of room.
So that septic system will just be for the new addition, or for both of
It
them?
would be for both. We're gonna upgrade both. The current square footage of the existing home is about a little under 1,700 square feet. And we're essentially gonna do the same size unit in the back, give or take a couple hundred square feet.
Is it detached or is it connected to the existing?
They're attached, so it's attached right to the back. The roof line kind of steps over to the right a little bit if you have the drawing there, so the gable end is kind of offset to the right and attaches to the existing garage, which is there.
So that garage just serve the new addition, or both?
It will serve the new addition, which is the second unit.
so it's currently single-family,
Currently a
and
single.
it's going to
family.
become a two-family?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure.
Well, he's been upgrading,
Yeah.
renovating the
The whole
existing house.
area in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Right.
So that existing unit is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and we're doing the same thing on the back if we get approved.
So obviously, by going back, there's no front yard setback issue. There's plenty to the rear. And you're not encroaching upon the side yard
Correct.
any further than it is at this point.
Right. This looks like the driveway extends. Does the driveway change at all?
No, the existing driveway is staying. It's actually not even a driveway, it's just crushed stone. We're proposing doing some driveway in the front. So right now, it's currently used as a driveway with some stone, so we were gonna pave it all. So that parking in front would be for the front unit, and the side would be for the side unit.
It'd be roughly the same size, or the same size?
Yep.
Okay.
It's not, right now, it's not really a driveway, because they didn't pave anything, but
Right.
there's crushed stone in the front and on the side that the old homeowners used to use as a driveway, so.
Now, the proposed deck, is that wrapping around the new unit, or is it just in the rear of the new unit?
What is it?
The proposed deck, it looks like it's wrapping around.
That's the deck off the back that serves both units.
Okay.
So there'll be access, so you see how it comes all the way to the front along the side, so that will be the access for the front unit, and then we'll cut it in half, and then the right side will be for the back unit.
Okay. Blair, any questions?
Not. Answered all of mine.
Bert?
None on my end, I don't think.
I think it was the other property that had some input from a neighbor.
Yeah,
But anything on this property from any abutters? You said you own the one to the left.
We own the house to the left.
Right, okay.
We've spoken with homeowners to the right. We're glad to see it's getting renovated. They were obviously notified about the permit we were going, special permit. And I haven't heard anything, so they haven't said anything to me about it.
All right.
Scott, any questions?
See if there's anyone here from any of the neighbors here tonight?
Not sure.
The lady on Zoom.
Oh, and someone on Zoom too.
Okay, I'll get to her in a minute, though. Scott, any questions? Young lady on Zoom, do you wish to be heard, or questions or comments?
Yes.
Can
I'd
you-
like to be
First
considered
of all,
for...
can you identify yourself, both name and address?
Yes, absolutely. My name is Kelly. I'm actually the neighbor on 49 Mechanic Street. If you're facing the houses, I'm to the right. As you know, he owns the duplex to the left. I want to apologize that I couldn't be there in person today, but I do want to express some concerns. I was actually excited to hear that it was renovated. I didn't understand that it was going to be a duplex. I was never informed of that. And I got a letter in the mail expressing that it was going to turn into a multifamily with an extension. And looking at that, I am concerned because, as you just stated previously, it's very close to my property line, and that is my understanding. It has to have certain side yard allowances that it doesn't meet with the new development being had. And then also, too, the frontage of that property is very small, which doesn't meet the criteria to build upon that. And another concern that you brought up that I like to piggyback off of as well is where these cars will be parking and the snow removal and their driveway, or as the owner said, the lack thereof a driveway, abuts my property. It's actually right on the line. And I'm just concerned about where those extra cars would be during that time. And my next question too is the environmental hazard of the new septic. I was wondering, he did mention that there's a plan in place. Did you have a chance to review that yet? And is that within code and regulations as well, from distance of property lines to foundations of houses? And then my last thought, and I appreciate your time again, is as Board of Appeals and being a part of the Foxborough community, do you want multifamilies and duplexes throughout our residency with transient people who don't invest and pay taxes in our town, and that we want to make this community better as it states by the bylaws. And is doing that and having transient people who aren't invested in the community the whole thing that we're looking for? Or is this just the financial gain of one individual? So something to keep in mind. I hope we take my concerns serious as the footage and the frontage and the side distances between my property and theirs. And I thank you for your time.
All right, let me try to respond to your concerns individually. First of all, relative to the concern you raised with respect to duplexes and multifamily housing. This property is in the R15 district, and multifamily housing and two-family housing are allowed by right. So Mr. Ritos has the right to convert this property from a single-family dwelling into a two-family dwelling. Second, as far as concerns with regarding the septic system, that rests with the health department. So my understanding is you will not issue a certificate of occupancy
Without the
without being
approval.
concerned, without being aware that the septic system has been approved by the health department, correct?
Correct.
So Mr. Ritos will need to go to the health department, provide his engineering plans, and obtain whatever certification they require relative to the septic system. The fact, obviously, that there are going to be more bedrooms there is a requirement for an upgrade in that system, or from the current system to what will be required. As far as the driveway abutting your property and the fact that the house is as close as you indicated to your property, yes, the town does impose minimum setback requirements. This property at the current time is, 9 feet, or the existing house is 9 feet from the, was it 53 Mechanic is your other property?
Right.
Is 9 feet from the
55.
53 Mechanic side yard, and is, I can't tell how close it is to the
I think it just takes the garage.
49. Well, the garage is 3 feet from your property
That's existing.
at the current time. There will not be any further encroachment upon the side yard setback. So what we're required to determine is whether the proposed increase in habitable floor area going from a single-family structure to a two-family structure complies with the zoning bylaw. And what we need to determine is whether that increase creates a substantial detriment to the neighborhood. And there are various factors that the bylaw sets out that we need to consider. And if we determine that there is no substantial detriment, and again, a two-family house is allowed by right, if we determine that there is no substantial detriment and that the factors that we have to consider are satisfied, then we can approve the request for a special permit. Now, again, I recognize that the garage right now is close to your property line, but there is no further encroachment upon the property line. In other words, the house that exists now, the addition that is being proposed, and the garage will be no closer to your side yard line than it is at the current time.
My question with that is, on the plot plan that I saw, that it showed that it's attached to the new dwelling that is added on, does that take into effect of, does that null and void the 15 feet? Is that added to it?
No, not to my mind, no. because again, the structure is going to be no closer to your yard line than is the situation at the current time.
Okay,
Do you agree, Scott?
I do.
I think we talked about that.
The addition itself does not encroach closer to that side
Right.
setback. The garage is a pre-existing nonconformity.
Right.
It's just being attached to that pre-existing nonconformity. So the addition itself, if the garage wasn't there, it would meet the setbacks on that side, I do believe, the 15 feet.
What's the width of the garage?
I haven't measured it, it's probably,
It's gotta be at least,
14,
it's gotta be at least 14, 15
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah. Which would,
And then you got the 3 feet.
Yeah,
So
so
you'd
it
be
was-
about approximately 18 to 20 feet.
yeah, so it would not be encroaching upon the side yard setback.
The new addition wouldn't be.
Correct.
But the garage is gonna be remaining, so, and it's gonna be attached to that garage.
Did I answer your questions?
yes, and actually that gentleman who just spoke, I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but he, I think hit my point home where that it was gonna be attached to the new development, so, how does that affect the zoning of that?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get your question.
No, I was just agreeing with you,
Oh, okay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Any other questions, or? Yes,
From my understanding,
could you
Come up and
identify yourself?
well, I'm Peter, that's my wife.
Oh, okay.
So, again, I'm kind of new to this whole process, and from my understanding of the zoning laws, if you're building on an existing property, that 15 feet from the side of the garage to the property line is a requirement because it's new construction, whereas the property now got grandfathered in, so it didn't have to fall under that 15 feet. And I don't know if I'm misinterpreting that, but that was kind of what we were gathering from that. And I think that's the point my wife was trying to make, that when you're building that garage to connect to the house, that's all new construction.
So again, the town in its dimensional provisions specifies front yard, side yard, rear yard setbacks, how large a parcel must be. So if this property was completely empty, if there were no structures on it right now, and Mr. Ritos wanted to put, whether it's a single-family home or a two-family home, he would be required to comply with the setback requirements.
So it's brand-new construction, not additions to an existing property.
The difference here is that he already has a house that is non-conforming. It's
Yeah,
already in
yes,
violation
yeah,
of the setbacks.
yes.
And a special permit can be issued by this board if certain criteria is met in two situations. Number one would be if one of the existing setbacks is intensified, if there's further encroachment upon one of the existing setbacks that is already in violation. And number two, if the habitable floor area increases by 25% or more. In other words, the habitable floor area of the addition is more than 25% of the habitable floor area of the existing house. If a new nonconformity were to be created, then a variance would be required, okay? But the situation here is that Mr. Ritos is, with this proposal, is not intensifying an existing nonconformity, dimensional nonconformity, and he is not creating a new nonconformity. What he is doing is, with a house that is already nonconforming, he is proposing an increase in the habitable floor area, in the living space. And the bylaw allows a special permit under those circumstances if he meets certain criteria, which we'll discuss.
Okay.
So, again, the situation here is you already have a non-conforming house.
Yeah. So
And in order to add to that house, the bylaw allows
Yeah. So, yeah.
Can't make it more non-conforming, right, in other words.
Yeah, it was just, because it's all kind of up for interpretation, I guess, as the new construction, but it's already on the existing property, so it falls in guidelines of that, which is, totally fine. Our concern is, again, we live next door to single-family houses, and now you're building, a two-family house next door with a bigger garage. There's gonna be more traffic, more foot traffic, car traffic, so that was just our general concern.
Well, the garage is staying the same. It's not,
Correct.
there's no increase in that.
Oh, you know how many car garage will be?
So still be the same.
It'd just be the one car
Yeah.
garage? Oh, okay,
That's just for the back unit, not for the front.
gotcha.
And the properties are separated by some trees, correct?
Not on that side.
Yeah.
Now,
Towards
I
the
mean,
back,
Bushes, I think.
The
bush.
side yard is tight.
It
It's
is.
tight.
yeah, we usually fence our properties
Yeah.
in, so I'd be more than happy to do that on this property to give you guys a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, because, we like our privacy. We like, it's pretty quiet. We're on a main street, but it's still pretty quiet. I know the two houses down, you did put the fence up. Would that be like the similar type fence you would do, or?
We'd probably do a vinyl fence,
Yeah,
like
like
a
a
privacy
privacy fence,
fence
yeah.
on that side.
Yeah.
I mean, if, just to help you guys, I
Yeah,
have no problem.
and we're
doing
not
that.
trying to intrude on your
Yeah.
business. It's just, we live there and we're planning on staying there for a
Totally
while.
understand, yep.
And, new neighbors move in, you have no control of that. You don't know who's gonna move in. But now
Yeah.
you have multiple families moved in, it just doubles, the stress of having good neighbors or not.
Yep.
So that's just our concern, yeah.
Again, he's not building anything closer to your house.
So my point is, we're already close.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's not getting any closer.
Yeah, but
Number one.
that's a single-family home that's very close to our house, and now you're building a multifamily that's very close to our house.
Well, it's not a multifamily.
Oh, s-
Multifamily
Yeah,
would be
it's
more than three.
two-family, a
But
two-family,
but
yeah.
it is allowed by right.
Oh, yeah, I
in that
totally
district.
get that, yes, yeah.
Okay. Any other public questions or comments? Anything else here? Scott, anything? Okay, now Blair's voting on this. Pretty much the same conditions that I would, well, let's go through let's close the public portion of the hearing first.
Motion to close the hearing. Second.
Okay, all in favor? So, when I look through the criteria for special permit, there are 6 factors that we need to consider. One would be community needs served by the proposal. I mean, there is, in Massachusetts, a clear need for more housing. Number 2 is traffic flow and safety, which includes parking and loading. The driveway seems to be more than adequate for additional vehicles. Yes, there'll be an additional car or two entering or exiting, the property, but that doesn't seem to my mind, to cause any problems any additional problems that may already exist on a heavily trafficked road. 3 is adequacy of utilities and other public services. The house is, the current property is adequately served by utilities. There's no need for anything in addition to what is already done. 4 is neighborhood character and social structures. Again, there are other duplexes in the area, and this is a zone that allows for duplexes by right. 5 is impact on the natural environment. I don't see any adverse impact on it. And 6 is the potential economic and fiscal impact to the town, including impact on town services, tax base, and employment. Certainly a two-family home is going to increase tax revenue, for the community. So, from my perspective, I don't see any substantial, detriment that is being affected by going from a single family to a two-family as proposed. Gentlemen?
I agree. Agree.
Okay. So what I would propose is to approve the requested special permit with the following 3 conditions. Number 1, location of the proposed addition on the property to be as shown on the certified plot plan, and to comply with the front side, and rear yard setbacks that are set forth in that plan. 2, the proposed addition to contain not more than, I think you said about 1,700 square feet?
Correct.
Say not more than 1,700 square feet of habitable floor area, and to be designed in construction in accordance with the plans that Mr. Ritos has provided. And 3, exterior materials of the proposed addition and the existing dwelling to be of comparable architectural type, materials, and color. And anything further?
No, that's straightforward enough for me.
Eric, anything?
No.
Okay, a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve as, with conditions as noted.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. You've obviously met Mr. Ritos, and hopefully, any of the concerns that you have, the two of you can, resolve as matters go along.
Yeah, there's no hard feelings whatsoever.
So,
Yeah.
Well, it's good to get to meet and all that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it, we get a nice little
It's
buffer
like,
going.
yeah,
I mean, he won't be living there, but I
Yeah.
understand you'll still be the owner of the property,
Yeah,
correct?
and I do all the maintenance,
Yeah.
I just send me over there, so
Oh.
we'll make sure everything's.
Yeah, I don't know if I can grab your number, but,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, we just had bad neighbors in the past, and we're just trying to avoid that.
Totally,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, so not to impede on your business or anything like that, there's no bad blood there at all.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, all right, hey, congrats, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks,
don't-
guys.
Stay
Thank you.
here?
Thank you.
All right, don't go away.
All right.
Time being 6:50 PM, Christopher Ritos seeks a special permit pursuant to the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Chapter 275, zoning, Section 5.4.2, to allow the reconstruction, extension, or alteration of a pre-existing non-conforming single-family residential structure by the construction of an addition to the single-family structure that will convert it into a two-family structure and cause the habitable floor area of the two-family structure to exceed by 25% or more the habitable floor area of the existing structure, and any such other zoning relief as the board may determine to be necessary and appropriate. Now, the hearing notice says the property is located at, the property is located at 71 South Street in the R15 Residential and Agricultural District and in the Design Review Overlay District. Whenever you're ready to start, Chris.
So this is, again, a single-family dwelling that we're proposing to do an addition off the side and the back of the property while still keeping the minimum 15-foot setback. The driveway, as shown, will actually extend up to the proposed addition. The driveway currently now is wide enough that we don't need to do anything in the front of the house. So basically, it would just be a straight shot to the front of that proposed addition. We'll split up the driveway side by side for each tenant, for both tenants. The existing house is approximately 1,700 square feet, and the addition is, I believe, just under 1,700 square feet. This, we're also proposing doing a septic system or potentially tying into sewer, which is a couple hundred yards away, I believe. We could do a tie-in there, which I haven't spoken with the engineer about which option is gonna work. Again, we got plenty of room in the back of the property for a septic system, so depending on what the design looks like, that would probably be our first choice.
Did you say there is sewer on this end of South Street?
There's sewer in front of the, where the apartments are. Again, I haven't gone deep enough with the engineer on the potential of tying into that.
Okay.
And I know there's a bit of a wait to get tied into sewer right now, so we would like to do a septic here.
Where's the current septic?
So the current septic is, see where it shows the shed?
Yep.
It starts right around that area.
So is your intent to use that for the existing house, or are you just going to have a new one for the two units?
For the septic system?
Yeah.
I'd have to talk with the engineer, I don't know. So this did pass Title V, the existing septic system, so depending on if we could just add on to the existing or potentially just do a whole new system, it would be whatever the engineer comes up with for that.
The addition's connected, gonna be connected to the existing structure. Is there gonna be access there, or is it just gonna be connected?
Is there access between
Well,
the two, you're
right,
saying?
that's my question.
No, just there'll be a front entrance for the proposed addition in the back, and then the existing entrances for the front unit.
Okay.
Just existing.
How close of a neighbor do you have both on either side?
To the left, there's quite a bit of room. To the right, that property's pretty close. So I don't know what their setback is off of our property line. It's probably right around 15 feet. And then this is, I think it's, I don't have the updated drawing. I think it was 17 feet,
18.
18. So about
You
30.
have 18 plus or minus on this one.
Do we have a certified plot plan here? Yes, we do. So the nonconformity, the principal nonconformity is on the, I guess, the westerly side yard.
Correct.
And obviously, the house is being constructed on the easterly side yard, and you'll be 18 feet plus or minus to that side yard line. Front yard setback, there's no change, and there's plenty, going to the rear. And again, because we're in the R15 district, a two-family house is allowed by right. So the only, not the only issue, but the principal issue is the increase in the floor area by more than 25%. There's no new dimensional nonconformity that's being created, and no intensification of an existing nonconformity. Right now, the current house does not have a garage, correct?
It does not.
So the garage that is part of the proposed addition will just serve the new addition?
Just the back unit, correct.
Okay. Eric, any other questions?
I don't.
Kurt?
None for me.
Blair?
Is the driveway now paved, and
It
so
is.
it'll be paved all the way up?
Well,
Eventually?
remove the driveway that's there and just do a straight shot, so it'll be all new asphalt.
No further questions?
Okay. Scott, any questions? Okay, let me open it up to the public. Actually, before I allow anybody to speak, we do have a letter, a 4-page letter that was directed to Diana. It's from Michelle Wright, who is at 69 South Street. It's dated June 19, 2026. what I'd like to do is have a motion to enter into the record and waive the reading. I will, however, respond to the various points that are made in the letter. So Eric, you're voting on this.
Sure.
So,
I have a motion to enter the letter into the record and waive the reading.
Second?
okay, all in favor? So let me ask anybody in the audience who wants to be heard in this matter to, please address the board. And if you do, just come up to the desk, please. And if you would, identify yourself by name and address.
Andrew Meyer, 75 South Street.
Ralph Bennett, 75 South Street. Forgive me if I'm loud. My hearing aids do not allow me to comprehend where my voice is.
Okay, that's quite all right. Go ahead. We'll let you go first.
Oh, well, mainly I'm worried about flooding and all the digging that's going to have to be done and the cesspools. It's going to affect the cesspools, the water running down and the groundwater, and it's just, I did email a letter to the health department, but I guess they didn't give you a copy. I haven't heard from them since.
I have a copy of the email you sent, and I also have a copy of internal communication concerning it, and I'll get to that in a few minutes.
Okay. But mostly we're just concerned with what all this digging and a cesspool that's too big for what's there, the land that's there. That was our concern. We don't want flooding. It's not good to have flooding. And that's my big concern. And what I want to know is a professional going to go in there and evaluate we're putting a cesspool big enough for what is required? Or are you just going to say, okay?
If I can add to that a little bit, because we do live together. In the past, with heavy rains and they didn't maintain the drain systems out behind the senior housing runoff, we wound up with 30 inches in our basement because of it. And I'm sure the builder, he may or may not be aware, years ago when they put the addition on this house, they put the floor to that house addition 12 to 15 inch lower than the main foundation of the house. That house has pumped water constantly since that addition went in there. I mean, I know that for a fact because the previous owners asked me to relocate the pipes so they could pump out into the street and not into our side yard. Now, I had lost a washer and dryer because they didn't maintain the drain system. If he's putting an addition on the back of that house and the septic system has to be moved and relocated or enlarged for the upper capacity of the two-family house, what's that gonna do to all that water table that winds up in our basement? And I just think, I understand he has to put a new system in probably just to reoccupy the house as a single family. But I don't think it would be as adverse as what a two-family would require on that property. I know other neighbors have had flood problems around their property as well from that wetlands in the back. I believe that whole area is designated wetland from behind the elderly housing running off towards Union Street. And it's, I don't know all the right questions and answers, but those are the big concerns that we have to it. And I don't mean to negative against the gentleman that's building the property, but we had an issue with the dumpsters, the windows wide open, birds and bats flying in the property for the last few months, the property not being taken care of. I mowed the lawn 3 times so it would look nice for Founder's Day. To me, that's not the proper way to come into our neighborhood. I've never met the gentleman, and we're abutters. That's odd to me. And the other thing that upset me, and I'm not trying to badmouth against anybody, but we went up and complained to the building inspector about the windows open, the screens on the roof, and so on and so forth, and the lawn not being taken care of. Within 2 hours, there's somebody down there mowing the lawn. All of a sudden, he gets a phone call from apparently the building office, you better get down and clean the property up because you're getting complaints about it. That's not the way this town is supposed to run. And I was offended by it. And I'm just, right now, totally not in favor of that being made into a 2-family house.
Also, if you allow them to do this and all the work there, the digging and everything, causes us to have, all the abutters to have a problem, who's going to fix the problem and pay for the problem? Because we're not causing it. So we shouldn't be allowed, whoever allows them to do this, somebody's got to be responsible for that.
Okay. I'm going to respond to your concerns, but I want to hear, because I got a feeling it may be the same, and I do have to
Yeah.
respond to Ms. Wright's letter. So, are you Ms. Wright?
And I am Ms. Wright, yes.
Okay. You want to summarize the
69
letter?
South Street. I concur with everything that's been brought up here, especially about water in that basement. Plus, you know, this is in a protected zone in a sense because you've got the draining into the Taunton Basin. That's off that, so you've got, you know, water protection in that area that I don't think is going to be taken care of. And as Ralph has indicated, we still have screens on the top of on the roof of that house. Why? Why do we have loose screens on there? Why do we have open windows? Why do we have no grass cut? Why, when the grass was cut, it was a weed whacker? It wasn't a mower. They took a weed whacker and it took 2 days to get it cut, and it's still pretty indecent at the moment. But it's not that issue. It's this whole issue of what's going to happen with this water. Because I don't see if you've got a single system on there and you're adding to this, when you're saying like 1,800, I couldn't hear you, so I'm not sure. 1,300 square feet?
Just under 1,700 square feet.
1,700 square feet, you're doubling the size of that house. So how are you going to take care of that septic system? And when I came in and talked with Diana, who directed me to Diane, the Board of Health, and saying there's no septic system that's in place here. And according to the research I've done, you can't even put one there. It would be a severe issue to try and get one to work there on that particular property and protect the water system for us. So I just can't understand why you would even consider that much of it. That's a 100% increase, right? The house is 1,700, you're adding 1,700, so you're saying a 25% variance, and you're actually adding 100% to that house?
Well, it's 25%, it's 25% or more, so.
It doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense as far as like, and you know, you've got the Booth Playground over there, and we already know that when, unfortunately, I didn't know at the time, I was playing tennis on the tennis court over there, which already had sewer leakage over there. My kids go, "Mom, didn't you know that?" No, I did not know that. So it's like, I think it's a real issue that you have to take a look at it. I don't know that this has been investigated by the EPA or anyone. I haven't seen anything. I've tried to find some kinds of plans online or whatever, if there've been any review of this, but I haven't found anything. I'm extremely concerned about the health issues associated with this addition.
Anybody else who wants to be heard? Again, can you come up and join us? And again, if you tell us who you are and your address?
Hi, my name's Jeff Matter. I live at 5 Union Street, so,
I'm sorry, your last name, please?
it's Matter, M-A-T-T-A-R. So the back of our property abuts, I guess if you're looking at the house, the left side, so the entirety of my backyard abuts the side yard. And I had two concerns related to the septic system as well. I'll reiterate what everyone else was saying. Our backyard does flood when it gets significant rain as well on the property line, between me and our house and this property and the property to our left as well. I won't go into, I mean, I'm just agreeing with everyone else here, so I won't go into too much detail on that. But my second question too is related to the septic system. If we put a bigger one in here, is the yard going to be raised by any significant amount? I don't know if you know that.
I haven't gotten with the engineer to figure that out quite yet, but because there's an existing system, I'm assuming it's meeting the requirements of the existing for a new system, so it would stay at the same grade, but I haven't met with the engineer on it yet.
Okay, so I guess I have a potential concern if the grading is changed at all. So we do have a 6-foot privacy fence between our two properties, and I know with these septic, sometimes the yards get raised 5 or 6 feet. And I just was wondering what we would do to maintain the privacy there, if there would be trees planted or anything like that. Because we do have 2 small children, we do play in the backyard quite a bit. So I just wanted to make sure that concern was heard too.
Okay. So let me try to, oh, we got another one.
I also live at 5 Union Street.
Oh, okay. What's your first name?
Jensen Matter. I'll just reiterate, there's been quite a bit of flooding along the property line between us at 5 Union and I think it's 9 next door. That runs along the back end of that property back to the senior housing. We've lived there since 2017. We've had several feet of water at times along that property line. And water in basements. It's an ongoing issue with the drainage in that corner, all along that corner between South and Union. So that's our biggest concern. I mean, we're happy to see the property turn over and be rejuvenated, but just the privacy and the water drainage is, yeah.
What is the yard? Is it a hilly yard or is it generally flat?
Our yard or this?
First question is for this property at 71.
It's flat.
Pretty flat, okay.
Yep.
And
Our septic is now right, when the house turned over, we bought the house, they raised the septic off the back of the house, and then it drops down to the privacy fence that we're talking about.
Your septic
Is raised,
okay.
and then it drops
Understood.
towards the back of the property line that runs into this property.
Okay, thanks.
So flooding has been, what, a problem from rain or from overflowing of the septic system? Rain?
I say out in the wood area behind the property, which I think the town owns, it abuts the senior housing. And there's 2 drain systems out there that I believe run underground towards Rock Pond or something. That's the way they told me. And if they didn't keep them clean, all the runoff from the parking areas and the woodland out there came back towards the South Union corner and ran across South and Union. At times you'd have 6 inches of water on South Street. 5 drains right there in that corner, can't handle it. And that's been as long as they've maintained the area up in the back, we haven't had a problem in 10 years. A couple of years ago, we had those torrential rains, and we wound up with 30-something inches in the basement, lost the washer and dryer. And now if he's gonna enlarge a foundation area behind that house at 71, that's gonna force the water table even more erratic. So I'm afraid it's gonna create more problems than anybody in the neighborhood can handle.
You were saying when you purchased your property, that you had to put in a new septic?
It was done, like with the sale of the
Just
house,
before.
we did not actually.
So was the
put it-
previous septic before that raised, or was it,
I don't believe so. I believe
so when they redid it,
it
they
went,
had to?
it was on a hill, so they basically leveled it and pushed the hill back. I'm not entirely sure, but, right, Jeff? Yeah.
Scott, are you aware of issues in general that,
There's flooding everywhere, down by there.
Yeah.
Just to correct you, it's the Foxborough Housing Authority that owns the property, not Foxborough themselves.
Okay, well, I
Okay.
just knew it's part of the.
That, I just wanted to make
Property, I
that
don't know
correct.
the
It's not
terminology.
owned by the town of Foxborough.
where's the main culprit, though?
I'm not aware, that'd be more of a DPW question. It could be coming from the Centennial Housing there. There is
Aren't they,
a,
they're hooking to sewer, right?
I'm not, but it all slopes down.
But stormwater,
That-
Yeah, stormwater
that-
for that
you
grade.
get stormwater.
It comes like from up here and just slopes right down. Again, that would be DPW. Just to make it also known that under an acre of land, it's best practices when it comes to drainage. So it's on Mr. Ritos to maintain all that drainage on his property. He cannot create any more. If it was over an acre, then the DPW would get involved and it'd still be on you. But he would have to go through engineering anyway when he does his septic design and stuff like that. So he'd have to get a septic design appropriate for that property. And again, he would not be issued a certificate of occupancy until that gets approved. I wouldn't even apply for a permit until you have at least a plan and
Yep, 100%.
So if I understand this, to generalize all the concerns, it's not specific to this property that's causing the issues historically. Your concerns are that either the new septic, if it's raised, would create issues and/or just the fact that there would be an addition would disrupt what's currently happening on the property that could make it worse? Is that
Yeah,
fair?
the addition of a foundation
Right.
area, like I say, when the Alairs that owned the house before put that rear addition on, they lowered the floor in that addition, I want to say 15 to 18 inches from the original foundation of the main house. That section floods almost constantly year-round because he went below the water table. Well, if he puts an addition in for a building of 1,700 square feet, I'm sure the footings and the foundation are gonna be somewhere in that water table, which is gonna displace that to somewhere else. And I think that's gonna be the issue.
Can I add something? The sump pump for that house is actually in the existing foundation, not in the addition. That's lower. So that's servicing that whole entire foundation, but it's at the existing height, which is higher than the addition portion in the back.
Okay. Well, let me see if I can at least respond to some of the questions or some of the concerns. Ms. Meyer, you indicated that you had sent an email to Diane Passafaro in the town's health department, and she spoke with, or she contacted Mr. Brennan, who's the town health director, concerning your email. And what Mr. Brennan said to Ms. Passafaro on June 22nd was, the home is currently designed for a 3-bedroom home. Therefore, a new septic system will have to be designed by an engineer and approved by the health department before use. The design will include a multi-compartment tank or tank in series. The issue of septic systems is beyond our authority. We don't have any jurisdiction or authority over septic systems. I guess the only time we would be if this was a comprehensive permit, which it's not. Jurisdiction for septic systems rests with the health department, and they'll require an engineer to design the system to their satisfaction, and I would hope they would take into consideration the various concerns that have been expressed. Mr. Brennan is a very conscientious and competent health director, and I am certain that he will give due credence to whatever concerns and issues, may be raised. We have no authority over septic systems.
But you do have authority over how much is added onto that house, and whether or not a septic system can be designed to handle it.
No, that rests with Mr. Brennan. That rests with the health department. And as Mr. Shippey indicated, he will not issue an occupancy certificate unless the health department has passed judgment on the septic system. So, let me finish, please. So, we cannot specify what has to be done or what should be done relative to the septic system. That rests with a different body. As far as the concerns that were raised both by Ms. Meyer and by Ms. Wright relative to the status, and Mr. Bennett relative to the status of the property, relative to windows being open, screens being on the roof of the house. And I drove by yesterday, and yes, the windows were open. And again, I'm not trying to pass the buck here, but we don't have policing authority relative to a property. The oversight of a construction site, I guess, rests with your department, with the building
Permit
department.
is issued, it rests on me. Board of Health also have some jurisdiction. I did, as you said, reached out to Mr. Ritos, and he did respond to my request. But that's the best I can do. Once a permit is issued, then I can do enforcement and make sure that the property is maintained. Again, it rests on the property owner, and that goes for any property owner. They are required to maintain their own property.
As long as they don't create a health hazard or
They
a
do-
safety hazard.
A
right.
public or safety hazard, absolutely correct.
And beyond that, what is being done relative to the existing house, the renovation of the existing house, that's not a zoning matter. That renovation, the work that is being done relative to that house, is not an issue that came before this board. It's not an issue that we have any authority over. So that status of that piece of property right now is not a zoning issue. The renovation work, the reconstruction work that Mr. Ritos is doing with respect to the existing house, it is not a zoning issue. It's not an issue that's before the zoning board. Our authority is to determine whether a special permit is warranted to allow Mr. Ritos to increase the size of the house by constructing the proposed new dwelling unit. And again, because we're in the R15 district, two-family homes are allowed. Okay?
It's not a question.
No, they can't pick you up on the, if you want to ask any other questions or make any other comments, you're going to have to come to the microphone.
Someone has the right to expand their house, that's correct. However, when it impacts the water system, and it's in a protected zone, near where you've got water dumping into basins, the service towns, and you've got the 3 ponds that are around there, it does become a concern as to the size of the addition. 1,700 versus 900, I thought there was a restriction in Foxborough. You could only do like 900, or maybe even add just an addition to the house that's 900 square feet, that's it.
That's with accessory dwelling units.
Yeah, I thought
this
it
is-
would be under this one simply because the septic system couldn't handle it.
This matter is not.
What happens if you grant this variance, you add this 1,700, and there's no acceptable septic system? Does it get demolished then? Is that what happens? And if it impacts my property, which hasn't flooded in 40 years,
If I can
and it
address
starts
that?
to flood?
He would not get a building permit unless he has an approved septic system plan for that addition.
And we would be able to see it
You
and
can go to the
understand
Board of
as to
Health,
whether or
and
not that
the
it
Board of
is-
Health would have that on file, and it would be a public record. But he has to design a proper septic system for the addition that he's proposing.
Mhm.
He will not get issued a certificate of occupancy unless that meets the criteria by the Board of Health.
And as I said, if you build it and you can't do the septic system.
If he can't do it, he can't do the addition.
But you can't build it
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's my
But
misunderstanding. As I said.
if he can design a system that will accommodate that addition, it's going to get a certificate of occupancy because it's a use by right, as long as it meets the special permit requirement that he is seeking in front of the board right now.
And that would also, this variance would also.
It's
take
not a variance, it's a special permit.
a permit. This permit would also take into consideration this water protection area.
As far as I know, it's not under a water protection area.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's not on a district, a water protection area of one or
I thought
two.
according to the Foxborough, whatchamacallit, website, it was. So.
The water resource protection.
Is it under that?
Is
It's not under the, it's not under the water resource protection that I'm aware of.
And it says you would have to put, it
I'm not
says you would
aware
have
of
to
that.
put town sewer there in order to add to that. So I mean, I'm not an engineer, so I can't.
I don't believe it's under the water
understand this,
resource
but
protection.
For it saying that you have to put it on town sewer, and we don't have town sewer on our side, so I don't see, if that's on your website, or on, so it's like,
Not my website, it's the
Well,
town's website, but
it's still, this is the town of Foxborough. We all work for the town of Foxborough.
I understand
We're all
that.
looking like toward the future and to
Yeah.
future generations and to the health of this town. That is the primary thing that I'm concerned with, is the health of this town. You've got a playground across the street. You've got the Booth playground. You've got elementary kids across the street. You've got a whole wealth of people who use that street. And that playground for baseball, you know, we're a crazy town for baseball.
Why?
You know, seriously, if you've got this, as I said, we had sewage that was seeping into the tennis courts a few years ago. So how do we prevent this kind of thing from happening? If we're adding this kind of 1,700 square feet to this particular area, how are you protecting the future of that playground, the water system? And I know it's not your department, but this is the town of Foxborough. We're supposed to care about our people. You know why I moved here? Because we care about children, because we care about people, because we care about each other. And I think that's part of this. It's just, I want to be sure we're not introducing a complete health disaster for the whole street in some respects, or especially the Booth playground across the street. You're going to move your Little League guys, you're going to move your school, you're going to, I mean, seriously. If you can't design a septic system, and it said, and somebody can research it, that you'd have to put this on town sewer. So as I said, I'm not an engineer. I just read what I read, and I'm just presenting what I read. So, and I could be inaccurate about it, and I'm not saying I'm not. But these are my concerns, and I think they're legitimate concerns. This is a good town. This
We
is a
appreciate you
really
coming in
good
and saying
town.
that. We
care
understand.
about
We
our
understand what you're
kids.
saying. And
Care about our kids.
we all do too. We appreciate that.
And that's what I said. And that's what I mean about this.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't think this is water resource protection.
No, it's not.
Diana just confirmed that it's not. It's just outside.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be a professional engineer that will come in and look this whole thing over and know all the facts, and it'll be a professional engineer deciding about this septic.
No,
Is that
professional
right?
engineer will design the system. The health department, the town's health department, will determine whether it meets whatever the criteria are for a septic system. His engineer will not make the determination. His engineer will design it. And if there are any changes that the health department requires, the engineer will have to take that into consideration and comply. But the engineer will not be the determining party. It's the town's health department.
Yes, we knew it was the health department, and that's why I emailed the health department with my letter. I just want to know if you do allow, whoever allows the work to be done, and we all have problems, who's going to be responsible for fixing those problems right away? Because you don't want all that water just stand there. And who's going to pay for it? Because we're not creating the problem, we shouldn't be held responsible to pay for it.
If I can add a question to this as well about this, the engineer designing a system. Now, not being an engineer, I don't know how it is done, but if he designs a system to fit into a certain square footage, does he know the conditions of that land, where that system is going, i.e. the water table, what the runoff problems are in the area?
I would presume that,
Those kind of, those are the questions that we
yeah.
need answered.
I would presume that an engineer would design it so
Does he
that.
come out and
We do
check
it.
for the water table?
Those are
Does
go
he
out and dig test
out and
pits.
Check the runoff?
Yes,
in
they
the
come
area?
out, they do their due diligence, they look at the site, they will design it according to how they feel it should be designed. Then that will be taken to the town, the health department, and they will review it. If any changes need to be made, they'll be made.
Well,
So
those are the questions we've had right along, and never
So
could get any
what,
answers.
what I'm trying to get across to you is that you sound like what you're concerned about is that some non-professional person is just going to dig a hole
No.
and do all this.
I don't
This
mean
has
it
to be
that
done according to code, it has to be done according to proper engineering, so this is not something that's going to be done haphazardly.
Well, that's my questions, because I'm not familiar with how the process goes. And then my concern was, does somebody come out and check where the water table is, check the drainage conditions of the land? Is that all figured into those design process?
That is the design process.
I think
Because
Mr.
I've
Reed,
never had
I
it done, so I don't know what the
think
system
Mr.
is.
Ritos wants to,
And the other thing, and I don't mean to say this negative to you, if you would come, when you bought this property, and talked to some of us in the neighborhood and answered some of these questions, maybe we wouldn't be here.
Sure.
And maybe if the place was taken care of better, we wouldn't be here.
So.
But that didn't happen. And I think, well, that's all I've got to say about it. I just am not happy about it.
Okay, thank you.
Chris, you wanted to respond?
I was just gonna say, we do a perk test, so we dig a hole to test where the water table is and to test the soil, so the engineer can design a proper septic system for that site. So that's how it's done. So they don't just design it based off of how big it is, they actually test the soil. So we dig a hole, find out where the water table actually is, and then he designs a septic system based off of that. If that makes sense.
Whose engineer is this?
This would be my engineer. So I hire the engineer.
Is he non-biased? Is he gonna say, oh yeah, you can do that because he knows you and your friends?
No, his license depends on him designing a system that is appropriate,
Yeah, so
so he
that's-
can't. He has a license for this, so he couldn't just
They
like
have to
say, "Oh, go
certify
ahead."
that these
Yeah.
things are done properly.
Yeah,
I
there's no-
understand that.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, I've lived
I know,
I've
I
lived
understand, like you say.
in Foxborough for so many years, and I've never had anything like this come up, so I don't know about it.
Sure. But just like one of the other abutters, they had a septic system done at one point when they sold the house. It would be a similar, like, that was behind our properties. And there was a new septic system put in there as well, so.
But it wasn't for like, they're one family, so it's the parents and two kids. Whereas a two-family, could mean 8 people rather than 4.
Right. Like I said, we're gonna design this that's appropriate for this particular site, so that's how it would get designed.
Actually, it could be more than 8 people, heaven only knows who's
The,
going.
the size and the capacity of a septic system in Foxborough is based upon the number of bedrooms that are being serviced. So obviously, I don't know, how many bedrooms we have total?
6.
What's designed and required for 6 bedrooms is more than what would be designed and required for 2 bedrooms. And again, he's going to have a competent certified engineer, licensed engineer, who's going to design the system. It's going to be reviewed by the town, and the town will make a determination as to whether it meets the appropriate requirements. And that's no different than any other party in town. It's not just this piece of property. Anytime there's any new construction, septic system has to be designed to meet requirements, and the health department passes judgment on it.
Okay. So when will the health department get all this information?
It'll be dependent upon when he has the engineer design the system. I don't know where assuming that something were to be approved tonight, I don't know where you would be within the,
We would start working on it immediately, so we would have, within a few months, we would have a design that would be submitted.
Well, my question on that would be, and again, to me, you award the permit for a 2-family, and then he goes to get the engineering, it's like you're putting the horse before the cart here. He's getting a permit for a 2-family, and he goes and starts building it, and then he can't pass the septic system.
now, all we do, if we grant a special permit, is authorize him to construct it. He then has to go to Mr. Shippey's department to get a building permit before he can begin any construction,
After a 20-day appeal.
after an appeal period runs.
So he has to get permission from you to start
He's
building?
got to, if they approve it, there's a 20-day appeal period, which you can appeal their determination. If it's not appealed, he can file for a building permit. Again, I strongly suggest that he has a septic system designed for the proper addition that he's proposing prior to applying for the permit. He will not get a certificate of occupancy for that structure unless one is approved. I cannot issue him a certificate of occupancy for that addition by law, by building code, without a proper septic design that is approved by the Board of Health.
Okay.
So it's up to him to have his engineers design it.
And he also has to take into consideration that this overlays a critical drinking water aquifer recharge zone. That's what it
think he's
says.
not
This
in that
lot does, is according to what I see here, the Foxborough zoning bylaws, section 9.4.
You're talking about the bylaw, you still have to look at the map. Ma'am, I do believe he's out of that district.
Well,
He's just out of it. I'm just saying he is just out
If
of
he's
it.
abutting it and it's not that far from it, I
Abutting
don't know.
it is a different story than,
You still got critical water. Rest my case.
Chris, do you have anything you want to add?
I don't know.
Okay. You're aware you're in the design review overlay district. And the way the bylaw reads now, any multifamily or non-residential structure that is being constructed in the overlay district is subject to review by the design review board. The town at town meeting in May amended those provisions to include 2-family homes. Those bylaw provisions, those amendments have not yet been approved by the Attorney General's office, so the change is not effective as of yet. But I would hope that any comments or questions that the design review board may have, you would take into consideration if we approve the, the permit.
Of course.
I mean, your plans, the exterior plans, to my mind, look comparable to, to what's in the neighborhood.
Sure.
Doesn't seem to be a departure from the, typical architecture in that neighborhood. So I would think that they would be satisfied, but I would hope that, notwithstanding the fact that the bylaw change is not effective, if we approve the permit, you would account for any consideration that they may have.
Of course I would. I've met with them before, and we've taken their advice.
Okay. Anything further? So why don't we, Aaron,
have
you're
a
voting on this.
I think we have one more question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know, did anyone answer my question about who is responsible if our property, the abutter's property, gets, has some damage?
I mean, that's a hypothetical scenario. I guess it would depend on what the issue is and what caused it, and we can't really speak to
If
that.
it's caused by the digging, this construction he wants to do, if it's caused by that, who is responsible to fix it and pay for it?
I think that the best answer I can give, and again, I don't want to sound as if this is being, trite, and I'm not trying to pass the buck. You really need to speak with an attorney, because it's a hypothetical question. And, if he were to cause a problem that would cause damage to your property, I think you should speak with an attorney and get that person's advice. We can't advise you. Eric's an attorney and I'm an attorney, but we can't advise you.
Okay, so,
I think, the best thing I can say is if there are any questions and issues that arise during the construction period, speak with Mr. Ritos. Try to resolve them with him. He's going to be a neighbor. I think your intent, like your other properties, is to own the property.
I don't think he's going to be living there. Are you going to be living there?
I will not be living there, no.
No, I didn't
We
think
rent
so.
these.
But he'll be the owner, and obviously, I will, at least I think he would want to make certain that the property is well-kept, because it's an investment on his part. So if you have any questions or concerns or issues, speak with him. I hope you don't mind I'm imposing on you,
No,
but
I'd be happy to talk with you guys.
You haven't kept up the property so far.
We're in the process of doing some construction there, and,
You left the windows open for a month or more.
the whole entire inside of it has been demoed, so.
And no one was there for 3 weeks?
Well,
With 3 dumpsters that were full to the hilt? No, no, sorry.
I want to move on, but, speak with him if you have any questions. Speak with him if you have any concerns. It's assuming we approve the permit, but speak with him. I don't have a motion to close the public portion.
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor? Who wants to start?
Okay, so
No,
you've got your...
It's closed.
we're,
Oh,
it's just us now. Go ahead, you want to?
I don't have any further questions. I think we've gone through it thoroughly.
I mean, are we at the point where we can approve this without the health department?
I think that's a matter of course, from what I understand. We could add a condition, but they're involved in the process regardless. Same thing as adding a condition that Scott has to issue a building permit. That's required. So, as Scott has indicated, he's not going to issue a...
The permit's gonna be conditioned on an approved septic system. Because when we get an application, we send it to the Board of Health. They're going to flag that application if they do not have even a proposed design of a septic system on hand, and that could hold it up.
And again, they're aware of the application, so.
I don't know.
And the contractor would be if they start construction, that's on them. Because if they don't get a proper design, they could have to remove that system, that addition, and put it back to the way it was. So they'll be doing it on their own risk, at their own risk, which would not be smart. And I'm sure Mr. Ritos knows this, so.
Well, he's built in Foxborough, so he
Yes,
knows what the
he's built
requirements are.
Several of these, he knows the process.
Sounds like there's a small possibility of tying into the sewer. You mentioned you
Correct.
haven't had that explored thoroughly, but it sounds like it's,
We'd look at it and see just what makes the most sense. The perk test will determine all of this at the end of the day, of what that soil is, where the water table is, and what can be allowed there, so.
If it was a comparable cost, what would your, I know the problem is not so much cost, but timing, right?
Be time.
Yeah.
With tying into the sewer, so as of right now, I think there's a year wait to tie into the
Is
sewer.
that 1 year?
Potentially, yeah. Because that's not technically in the sewer, I would have to pump to it, so. But yeah, if I don't have another choice, then that's what we would be doing, so.
So if I look at the special permit criteria, the factors, again, just going down the list, community needs served by the proposal, again, there's a need for housing in town. And again, in the R district, two-family is allowed by right. Traffic flow and safety, including parking, an additional dwelling unit's not going to increase.
No.
Property served by utilities and other public services, neighborhood character and social structures. It's a nice design. Just driving up South Street in the last couple of days, it's not all that different what you're proposing to do from other houses in that area.
Sure.
You're not changing the character in any fashion. Impact on the natural environment, I guess that's where we get into the water table, but I gather the real issue is from elsewhere.
Yes, his design professional should be able to.
And of course, again, there'll be an economic impact and a fiscal impact to the town by an improved home and the additional unit in the way of taxes. So the question then comes down to, is this a substantial detriment to the neighborhood? And I realize that there are concerns and I realize there are questions, but I don't see it as being substantial.
I don't see it as substantial. It's as long as the septic system works. And I would presume that, if a lot of people have a lot at stake here, so that would be designed properly.
I agree. To meet the substantial requirement, I don't see that here. Again, subject to the proper design and the building permit occupancy process.
And I've got no reason, and I can't believe that you're going to hire an engineer who's not going to do it.
No, I would.
What's that party was supposed to do? So I would propose granting the special permit with the 3 following conditions. Number 1, the location of the proposed addition to be as shown on the plot plan and to comply with the front, side, and rear yard setbacks that are set forth therein. Number 2, the proposed addition to contain not more than, you said 1,700 square feet?
I believe it's just under.
Okay, contain not more than 1,700 square feet of habitable floor area, and to be designed and constructed in accordance with the design plans that you provided. And 3, the exterior materials of the proposed addition and the existing dwelling to be of comparable architectural type, materials, and color. I'm going to add the proviso that the applicant is to give consideration for architectural revisions that may be requested by the Design Review Board. Again, that's just give consideration. It's not to necessarily
Right.
do it, but to consider whatever
Yep,
comments or questions they may have.
be happy to meet
Chair,
with them.
can I just make a comment?
Yeah,
Will you be reaching out to the design review board? Because I am not sending it to them.
I can
So
send it to them.
you have their contact, so if you would,
Yeah, from Fails, yeah.
okay, okay.
Still the same
Yes.
group, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
and again, I don't think adding anything as far as a condition relative to, the health department involvement,
That's required anyway.
it's required, yeah, so. Anything else?
Nothing here.
Any motion?
Motion to approve the special permit subject to the conditions stated.
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Okay.
All
It
right.
may take me a little while to write this one, Chris, but
Thank you,
I'll
guys.
try to get it within a couple of weeks. Thank you.
right.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't have it in advance of the meeting, but I got it early.
Take it. Do we know if Bill?
Buckley's out in the hallway.
Is that in the hall?
Yeah, if you got a card or something, so I just be in touch with you.
Can we do that now?
Let's get out.
Thank you.
I think Joe Lynch was here because he's got one in that area next month.
Whatever happened to the guy across the street who was gonna, remember in the garage, like they were gonna convert the garages in that blue building?
The guy wanted to do the hair salon?
No. Remember the blue building over here?
Oh, yeah, who's gonna,
Apartments, right?
Yeah. He never did that, I don't think.
Great to see you again.
Oh, I get to send a seat.
The church is awesome. What a beautiful building. Amazing.
he's looking at the picture.
Yeah.
Picture on the wall.
I think I saw that was open for, like last week.
You guys ready?
It was open for tours last week. Pretty cool.
All right, the time being 7:10 PM and then some. Rowan Greens LLC requests a special sign permit pursuant to the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, Chapter 213 signs, Section 213-C1G, to allow the construction of a real estate sign that is 32 square feet where 6 square feet is allowed. The sign will be located at 119 Moore Street in Sign District 2. For Eric's benefit and for Blair's benefit, and Blair is voting on this, this sign has to do with the property at 119 Moore Street, for which we granted a comprehensive permit a couple of years ago, I guess.
Seems like yesterday.
Seemed like yesterday.
Seems like a week ago.
Well, it was just a week ago we met, right?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Buckley.
Mr. Chairman, good evening. Oh, hi, I'm Bruce Wheeler, principal of Rowan Greens LLC and Habitat Communities, and pleased to be here with you tonight, and appreciate you having us on our agenda, your agenda. I'm here with our great engineer, Bill Buckley, from Bay Colony, and Mike McKay, our wonderful architect that I've worked with on numerous sites from McKay Architects. And we're going to talk about the sign and then our architectural plans and anything else you'd like to discuss. And Bill, you want to start with the sign?
Well, actually, before we get into that, so as you remember, Kurt, when we considered the matter, Mike Saig was the property owner, and he subsequently sold the property to Mr. Wheeler. So Mr. Wheeler is the current owner.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right, and we're excited to build a terrific condominium community in Foxborough and create great housing, and we'll be focused through the process and execute the construction and the plans to the very, very best of our ability. And we're pleased to have the opportunity to be here in Foxborough.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Again, my name is Bill Buckley from Bay Colony Group. And as the chairman said, we're here before the board for a special permit for a sign for the comprehensive permit site at 119 Moore Street. So the site was permitted back in 2023. It was actually, there was an update to the permit in 2024. Unfortunately, one of the things we did not ask for a waiver from was for a sign permit. So in this district, which I think is the sign district 2, the maximum real estate sign is 6 square feet. So this is a 36-unit building or project that has on about 5 acres. So that size is probably inadequate for this type of activity, but it would work great for a single-family house. So we are looking to put in a sign that's 4 by 8, which is 32 square feet. And what I've shown you, you can see this is the entrance, which was there probably a couple of weeks ago. But that is the location of it. So the sign would be placed in that general location. It would be parallel to the road. It's one-sided. So one of the things that is a issue that we have to address, or you have to consider, is the impact on neighboring buildings and neighboring houses. The closest house is to the right as we're looking at this plan. It's a single-family home. And it's, but just want to point out that everything here is in the general industrial district, including the home. So it's like that. So they're not looking at it. It's parallel to it. They'll be mostly looking at it from the side. It will not be set, it'll be set far enough back that vehicles pulling out will be able to see around it. So looking up Moore Street to the left as they pull out. And it's also, because of its configuration, it's also not going to block cars coming from North Street, seeing vehicles trying to exit that driveway. And I think that's about it. There is, it's not an illuminated sign. It's, those are the colors we're looking at. I have some other drawings that let me share with you. It's, again, they're in your packet.
Is it a temporary sign or will it be removed?
This right here, this is a drawing that shows the signs, and actually, this is the sign plan that we have to produce for the board as part of the comprehensive permit. But the most of the signs, again, it's in your packet. They're hard to read. Most of them are no parking signs along the perimeter there where the buildings are. And, you know, the 20-foot wide driveway, tough to park, and they definitely wouldn't want to park 2 cars. So along a lot of those areas, we've said no parking in there. And again, down the front as well. But down here, right in this area here, here's where the 4 by 8 project sign would be. So where my hand is kind of moving in that location. Let me give you a bigger look as well at the signs themselves. Did I do it that? Sorry, here it is. So this is what the sign is, what it looks like. It's, again, 4 by 8. It's black and white. Can't get much more subdued than that. And I'll stop right there.
What's the color on the back going to be? You said it's one-sided with the writing, I assume. What's the, just curious what the back side?
Probably white.
White.
Yeah,
The back.
Yeah.
It'd be just a blank white board.
Yeah.
How far off the edge of pavement?
About 20 feet.
Wow, okay.
I think you have to be, what, 10?
I think it's,
Depends on
what you want, when you're doing a traffic analysis, you want to be like, I think it's 16,
Yeah.
right? 16 feet so you can look. So we put it 20, so you'll definitely be able to see by it.
It's clearly outside the right of way.
So in a couple of other comprehensive permit matters, we actually waived provisions of the sign bylaw to allow comparable signs. You know, again, 4x8, non-illumination specification as to how well the sign could remain on the premises. So this is no different than something that we've allowed in previous matters. I suspect before the sign bylaw was approved, there have been other signs of a similar nature in other developments that were being constructed in Foxborough. But for our purposes, a sign of this nature is necessary in order to market the property and ultimately achieve the principles and the outcome that we wish from the comprehensive permit. So I think it's absolutely necessary.
And I think it's worth noting that the closest building's like 450 feet away. So it's not like you're driving by going, ooh, that looks nice. You've got to be able to kind of capture the look.
So,
Looks fine to me, yeah.
any questions?
This is temporary, so
Yeah.
eventually this will come out, will it be replaced with another sign at some point, or?
Yeah, we'll have a nice permanent sign. Well, we haven't designed it yet, but something that's fitting for Foxborough and for that blends in with things here.
Just on a side note, did they have to rebuild that bridge? Have you done that, the bridge?
We have.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
So
But the reason this is before us is the sign bylaw says that real estate signs that are 6 square feet in area are allowed by right. There's no permit that's required, but because it exceeds the dimensions,
Yep, understood.
it needs a special sign permit.
yeah.
So why don't we just close the public portion of the hearing? Go ahead, Blair.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? So what I would propose is that we approve the special sign permit request with the following 3 conditions. Number 1, dimensions of the sign to not exceed 4 feet in height by 8 feet in width or 32 square feet. Number 2, the sign shall be used for the sole purpose of advertising the sale of the residential units that are to be constructed on the subject property with design and wording as set forth in, I don't know, I'll attach this as an exhibit. And illumination of the sign is prohibited. And 3, Rowan Greens shall remove or cause the removal of the proposed sign from the property not later than 30 days following the sale by Rowan Greens of all residential units on the premises. And that's consistent with what we've done in other comprehensive permits. Questions, or?
No, that sounds terrific.
Okay. Motion to approve?
Motion to approve as, with conditions as noted.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? That was a little bit easier than the last one.
Yes, sir. And those condos are for sale, not rentals, or?
That's correct.
Sale, okay.
Yeah, and I think the town really is in dire need of some new for-sale condominiums.
No, yeah, not just this town.
Yeah, right, all towns, but I haven't seen a new condominium community for sale in Foxborough in many years. So we're anxious and excited to bring a wonderful product here.
Would you say 36
So there were
36.
36 units
Yeah.
that were approved. The initial application had 52 units. So we approved 36, so 9 have to be before them.
Okay.
And in addition to the, I don't think you have the plan, but, well, I guess it's on the sign plan. In addition to those condo units is an existing building, which will be 2 units, correct?
That's right.
So I asked you the question, but obviously these guys weren't there. When do you pretty much expect to start breaking ground?
Later this summer, yeah. So I think that we're going to be starting to submit plans in a week or so to the building inspector, and we're moving through the first building now, and Mike and Mike McKay and my construction manager will bring it in and talk through it with the building inspector and make sure that we have all the things that he's looking for on the first plan, and then move forward from there.
With the thought of what, about 9 months from now, as far as the first sales?
Pardon?
You expect about, what, 9 months to construct?
Yes, so it's 6 months from 180 days from backfilling the foundation. So I'd say that we're probably realistically 90 days away. So from the first people moving in and the first closing. Yeah.
Okay. You wanted to show us some revised architectural plans.
Great. I'll just introduce myself again. Michael McKay, I'm a project architect. We've taken the project over from Union Architects, who was still the design architect for the project. We're doing the construction drawings. They're still consulting on the project and making sure that we keep the concept. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago and presented this package that basically we took the approved drawings and used those as our baseline, and just we're bringing the drawings up to code, just making sure everything is dimensionally right. Closet depths, bathroom, circulation, door and window schedules. So the site plan that's on the screen is the approved site plan for the 34 units, and then the gray building is the existing with the 2 units. There's a mix of 24 2-bedroom units, 10 3-bedroom units. Out of that, 9 are affordable, and all of those affordable units are 3-bedroom units. So the site plan is how we dots and stars that show which ones are 2s and 3s and affordables, and we match that exactly, and we've just taken each of the building types. Some of it will get repetitive, we'll brush through it. You can tell me to stop if you're bored, but if we want to just go to the next one, please. Just a basement plan, that's the boring part. So this is a typical 2-bedroom that matches. Some of the buildings will have a 2-bedroom on one side, a 3-bedroom on the other. Some are affordable. So each one of those units gets a little bit different, but this matches the square footage to, literally to an inch of what we took Bill's site plan and matched the site plan, which was the approved floor plan. So it's basically the exact same concept. We just may have changed the kitchen around a little bit. Maybe the bathroom is dimensionally, bringing it up to the code, but it is the same again that was approved. The concept is that the front door it's always facing sort of a courtyard or a public area that everybody can gather. That was the concept of the site plan design, where parking is in the back, and in this case, there's 4 units. This one, the 4 parking spaces are in the back of the building, and these are quads. So there's a firewall that separates the 2 units. So if you think of it like a townhouse or a duplex, there is one flat unit here, and then on the second floor, if we could go to the next one, there's 2 more units that are separated by this party wall. All of the buildings will be sprinkled. There are 4 units per building. Again, this is the design that we were given, and we've worked with. Maybe the changes that we've made are in elevation, which I guess we can go to the next. Some of the units will have attics, though this is within the roof line. Some of them will be finished attics, or not finished. I think they'll be.
It's an option for either market or affordable units to expand into the attic space.
All right, so right now we're keeping it as a flexible. We're showing 2 or 3 different ways of doing it, and we'll need to determine that at some point during the permitting. Next, please. So this is a 3-bedroom unit that matches, so it's a 3-bedroom on the right, but a 2-bedroom on the left. So each one of these buildings, we tried to show all of the different scenarios, just to make sure they all worked, which they do. But it's, in a case like this would be an affordable 3-bedroom unit, where the other side is maybe a market rate 2-bedroom unit right next to it. But it's the same footprint on all of the buildings. The garages, again, are all in the back, and the entrances are in the front off the courtyard. Next, please. And this is where it just gets repetitive. This one happens to be a 2-bedroom connected to each other. And what we tried to do, and we did this just to, again, make sure it all worked, is we took each one of the building types and we drew them up just to show the different configurations. So you'll see a lot of drawings we can breeze through, but it's the same basic footprint. It might be the same 3-bedroom unit that's on the second floor. In this case, this is a 3-bedroom, bedroom, bedroom, where it's a 2-bedroom, bedroom on right next to it. So, again, might get boring. Next, please. I think we can skip through the plans because they're the same concept, and maybe just look at the elevations. Yeah, so the exterior, this is, again, almost exactly what was presented. Bruce has a pretty talented group of designers, marketing people that looked at the color scheme, and we tried to brighten it up a little bit. I think what's on the screen here doesn't show as well. It shows a little bit better on TV, but it's the colors are very specific. It's sort of a dark bluish gray and an off-white with white trim. And this is slightly different than what was shown initially. Was more consistent, one color. And we think this is a little bit more successful. A couple of little tweaky changes to the exterior, but windows are almost always in the same location. I think one, if we want to call it a major change, here we added a window. And they were split up, having 2 double hungs on each one separated. We changed it to 3 and 2, and we just thought it was a little bit more successful. Again, we're working with the interior design consultants. We got some feedback from them. Next, please. Yeah, so this is more of a technical elevation than the color, but same height, same bays, same porches that were approved initially, just some subtle changes to windows. And it's just all for all 4 views. I think one thing we added was a little bracketed overhang for the in the back. It was shown as an overhang, but there was some columns. We're just doing brackets just to give it just a little bit more of a detail. The back is, these are the 4 entrances, the 4 garage doors, and then the person or man doors accessing both the ground level units and the second level units. And the other elevation, next one, is the same, just flipped on the other side. I think that might be all of them. Yeah, that's it. I did try to brush through the floor plans, but they're all the same. That's all I can say.
Bill, when you sent the plans over to Diana today, you mentioned that there was some minor modification to what we had discussed a couple weeks ago?
The EV.
I took the EV car charging was removed from the drawings.
Okay.
That was the only change.
Okay. So a couple weeks ago, Scott, me, Catherine Fierick, Gabby Jordan met with these 3 gentlemen just to look over the approved plans and look over the architectural plans and talk about a few other things that need to be done in connection with the project as a condition to issuance of the building permit, such as the regulatory agreement.
Yes.
And Catherine did send a memo, which, Diana, you sent to everybody, correct? And I don't know if you've gotten a copy yet?
Yes, we
You
did.
could, okay.
Thank you.
That basically, it's consistent with the plans that we had approved a couple of years ago, so. So there's nothing for us to vote on, this is just, informative, but the project's moving in the direction it should be moving, so. Fingers crossed you'll complete it soon and it'll sell out quickly and.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, what are the units approximately going to sell for?
We're going to start in the low to mid sevens.
So where would an affordable unit come in then? Obviously, it depends on the.
In the low threes, the three-bedroom units, and that's mandated by the formula for the
Right.
median income, but low threes.
You said 9 units are reserved for the affordable. What's the breakdown of 3 versus 2?
They're all threes.
They're all 3s?
They're all threes.
Yeah, we felt like the affordables are more likely to be family situations, and so it made in that for these type of units, it's we have the market units are really less family situations, so we have all the affordables as 3 bedrooms.
Okay. Nice.
So I asked Mr. Wheeler the most important question when we met a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you got the answer. Rowan Greens, where that name came from.
I didn't send it to you, and I'm gonna make a note to do that. It was on my note before, and I didn't. I had a discussion, but I didn't follow up with our marketing group. So
Okay.
I apologize. So it is related to the history of Foxborough, and Rowan was a special person in Foxborough, but I'll get that, and we're going to put it on our website as well, so that the public can appreciate the naming as well. I apologize for not having
That's the most important question. Scott, have you any questions, or?
No, I had one question, and Mr. McKay answered it. When he submits the plan, we'll have a quote review that'll what's the word I'm looking for? Specify or answer my questions on that, so. Now, when you say a firewall, that's gonna be a true firewall
Yes.
from the basement all the way to the bottom of it?
Yes. Yep. I think I may be having deja vu, but I had the same conversation in Lexington like a couple of days after. It is a true firewall. Because one of the concerns, these are condominiums, sound, and the true firewall is the best. So we have the 2-inch liner, individual separated walls, insulated.
Yep.
So it'll be a 2-hour wall.
From the floor.
Floor all the way straight through.
Straight up.
Independent, so if,
One section.
God forbid, one side were to have a fire, the other side would be separate.
Yeah, and I was talking to Deputy Chief Triani today, and we have another project that's coming up that's a multifamily that's doing basically the same thing, firewall.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be considered an R3, because each unit's gonna be different, or single family. You'll have 1 and 2 family, kind of like sandwiched together.
Right.
Your fire alarm is going to be connected to the sprinkler system, because that's a requirement. Now, is it just going to be the tamper switches, and
That's something
that's something you're gonna have
I will-
designed?
we'll have to,
Okay.
our electrical
I
engineer
didn't know
will work
how
that.
how your fire alarm system is it going to be localized for each individual unit?
Yes.
Because the sprinkler system's going to act as the main heat detection and
Yes,
get those folks out.
that's how, we were talking earlier, this building type with the firewall could make this an R3. It could.
Correct.
And then not have the sprinkler, but we think the sprinkler system.
I don't think it can beat it because it's over the
And
12,000.
we think it's a better building, so no matter what.
Well,
It's-
I think you're over the 12,000 square feet aggregate.
And we need 2 stairs too.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
there's a whole series of
There's a
things.
lot
that-
of exceptions
it's
that
a
you would
lot
have
of
to
things
meet.
that fall into place.
And plus, it was also already in the comprehensive permit that you have the sprinkler.
Yeah. I'm a big believer. I think, no question.
I was just asking on the fire alarm, because that situation came up.
And we'll have.
Does it only need, the fire alarm only needs to address by code the sprinkler system?
That's correct.
I just didn't know how you were going to configure it, the fire alarm in a total.
So our engineer, our electrical engineer, for use of the fire alarm engineer, will have that addressed.
Appreciate it.
Addressing.
So
No pun
because we,
intended.
No pun intended.
because in the previous hearing, we discussed ad nauseum septic systems. I know this is Seward. As far as crossing the river, is it going to be underneath the bank or along the side?
It's going to be in, originally, we were talking to you guys before, we were going to hang it.
Mm-hmm.
No, we were going to go under the river.
Under, yeah.
And then we were talking about hanging it, and then when we did the final engineer design, it's going within the bridge. So there's conduit in the bridge itself that will be running the water and sewer, electric cable, all of it will be going through it underground.
Okay.
It's only a 2-inch line, it's pressure sewer, 3-inch.
That was less of a discussion during the hearing than the last one.
We were
Anything
talking
else?
about septic systems.
Yeah. Great. It's going in the right direction.
Yes.
Glad it's starting in next fiscal year, and after FIFA.
Soccer mania, you guys getting through soccer mania?
I mean, how are your guests been?
They've been good. I've had, guests from Scotland, my wife's from Scotland.
Oh, really? That's great. Well, incredible people. They've been everywhere, and you see them on TV singing and in all the bars and on the boats. Did you see the
Have a
thing
good
with the
time.
singing on the boats? It's unbelievable.
That's why I married her.
I will say this,
She could
the
sing.
fans have been fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
All the fans from every country have been fantastic.
Great.
They've been really pleasant to be
good to
around. No major incidents happening, so it's been,
That's great.
Traffic control has been really good.
yes.
I think they pushed the train, and I don't think too many people are commuting in the cars. It's been
Yeah, it's been
pretty good.
pretty decent. yeah.
Simplifies things a lot.
Yeah, so they're shutting down the commuter rail. I live in Needham. The Needham commuter rail shuts down at 4 o'clock, so all those trains are servicing Foxborough. So they must have so many, I don't know where they're putting these trains, but
They
they shut
can
it.
accommodate 20,000 patrons. That's how,
And it's
that's
a
the
football
way they
game, it's only
designed
about
this.
4,000.
Right, exactly.
trains.
Nobody
Less
takes it.
cars.
Right.
I haven't
Great.
heard of any incidents on the trains either, so
No, it's all been,
everyone's getting along.
South Station, they shut down all the streets around it. Everything is, it's,
It's gonna be closed earlier tomorrow.
And the English are the worst, and they got through yesterday, so.
That's right.
Way more productive than all the Patriots with the cars and the tailgates and just coming out and then enjoying Patriot Place and then
Yeah.
going in, pre and post.
Yep.
So that's, that has to be a simpler process.
Patriot Place is very, very congested.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
It's seeing a lot of traffic, pedestrian traffic
Yeah.
during these games, which is good, but I'm cautious. Because it's a lot of people in a concentrated area.
Yeah. Yep.
But so far, no problem.
Not, no.
So why don't we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn the meeting?
All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
We'll
everyone.
we'll follow up with the other items, the regulatory agreement,
Yeah.
the.
I'll just wait to hear from Stephanie on that, so.
What's that?